Are you trying to establish your brand as a thought leader? Start a podcast, invite industry experts to be guests on your show, and watch your brand become the prime resource for decision makers in your industry. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to the B2B Growth Show, a podcast dedicated to helping B2B executives achieve explosive growth. Whether you're looking for techniques and strategies or tools and resources, you've come to the right place. I'm Jonathan Green.
And I'm James Carberry.
Let's get into the show.
Welcome back to the B2B Growth Show. We are here today with Sally Jenkins. She is the EVP and CMO at Informatica. Sally, how are you doing today?
Good. Thanks, James. Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited to chat with you today, Sally. We're going to be talking about a few different things, data being really at the center of what we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into that, I would love for you to explain what is Informatica. There's a reason why you are the person to be talking about data. So I'll let you take it from here and explain to all of our listeners what Informatica is all about.
That sounds great. And I love when data is at the center because we believe data should be at the center of everything we do. Informatica is the leader in enterprise cloud data management, which puts data at the center of our customers' digital transformations. And we believe that it all starts with understanding that data is the critical foundation to helping our customers. So that's what we do, and that's all we do. All we do is data.
I love it. So you joined Informatica about 6 or 7 months ago, and a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about today are things that you've already implemented or you're in the process of implementing. And I love hearing those stories of how real marketing executives are implementing and growing their organization. And so as we were talking offline, you mentioned this first thing that you'd want our listeners to understand is that as a marketer, you need to educate yourself on your company's systems and processes. Can you talk to us a little bit more about this?
Yes, absolutely. And so by that, I mean, IT is marketing's best friend these days and has been at the forefront of this for, probably the last 3 or 4 years. And so working arm in arm with IT, understanding what technologies IT is bringing on board to help us get closer to our customer, understanding our customer's buyer's journey, understanding who our customers are through different segmentation that may come out of the engineering and product management teams, and then ultimately understanding the role that digital plays in connecting with your customers. All of that is supported by different systems and processes, and they may be disparate, and that's okay. But having a good understanding through an audit, which is what I've been going through to help me understand what tools I have to get closer connected with our customers.
Got it. And what have those audits looked like in your case? Being there, you're new to the team. Has it been a lot of one-off meetings? Has it been a lot of team meetings to kind of get you up to speed? What does that look like?
Yeah, no, it's been a little bit of both. Of course, I get with my own team to understand what we're using, what types of tools and technology, whether it's the Adobe stack or other MarTech stacks that we have, and is it best of breed? Is it something like the Adobe stack where we've got it all together, and understanding what my team wants? And then some of the one-off meetings are with like our CIO, Graham Thompson, who is also fairly new as of almost a year ago, understanding what he has in mind as he goes through transformation within IT and understanding the impact on marketing that has, and ultimately the impact that it has on our customers. So it's a bit of a joint ownership between IT and marketing and some of the things that I'm going to talk about. And it's definitely a partnership because IT is no longer just seen as being operational, but they should be seen as being transformational for the marketing department and the company as a whole.
Got it. The next thing that we, as we were kind of talking through this offline, Sally, you mentioning, IT is critical in this equation, but whether your company is really technology based or not, data is important. Talk to us about data's role in marketing, particularly with you guys being so passionate about data as a whole. Talk to us a little bit about the role that it can play in marketing and the results that you can see because of it.
Yeah, it's interesting. As much as I like to be able to say, and I'm proud to say that, we only do data and that's our expertise. I think that over time, marketers, certainly modern marketers, have realized how important data is to the function of marketing. I mean, quite frankly, it removes that ambiguity of the value that marketing brings to an organization and helps put marketing at the forefront and lead for an organization, because it's no longer opinion-based. What we do in marketing is marry the science to the art. The art's what we've been known for, or we have a reputation for being known for, but marrying the science to that really helps marketing be a strategic weapon for any company, and that is all based on data. And so data helps us understand what we need to do, where we need to go next, how we uncover our next disruptive moment in time. And so that's why data is so critical to the role of marketing.
Got it. And kind of related to that, Sally, you mentioned that, one of the ways that you can leverage data is by collaborating, using that data to collaborate with other departments to really get a holistic view of your customer. And obviously, when you understand your customer better, your marketing is going to be better. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, it's interesting. The data that we're collecting is data based on customer feedback and what they like about a certain company, what's working for them, what's not. And not all of that data is collected by the marketing department. Some of it sits in our customer service area, or, in other areas that's in the help area or support. And for us to be able to connect those dots, because the journey that a customer takes these days with any given company or product is way more complex. And so all of these interactions between departments within a company generates more and more and more data, and it's always changing. It's scattered. We don't always have that full perspective. So in order to pull that all together and have that 360-degree view, or that complete view of the customer journey, only makes us smarter marketers and, quite frankly, much more relevant to the customer.
Got it. And so if you need to be pulling data from different parts of the organization, different departments, to really feed and allow you to see the holistic view of the customer, is that really where Informatica comes in to be kind of a central housing place for where all of that data sits?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly can be, right? So we help you make sense of your data, cleanse your data, secure your data, make that data useful. So ultimately, again, you're more relevant to your customer. And then you deliver a wonderful customer experience to that customer, so the customer wants more and they want to have more and more interactions. So that's at the crux of what Informatica as a company can do for other companies. But if any marketer has that mindset on how do I use my data, this data that I have about my customers, as an asset, that's the right place to start.
Okay. So another thing that we talked about offline, Sally, was this idea of not being afraid or not shying away from embracing B2C, more consumer strategies when you're in the B2B space. And we talked a little bit about targeting and tailoring your campaigns. Can you talk about what this has looked like for you and your new role at Informatica?
Yeah, this whole blurring of the lines between B2B and B2C has been happening over time. I mean, we are all, at the end of the day, consumers, and we all want things faster. We want them cheaper. Our expectations as consumers are changing by the moment, given the technology that's at our fingertips, and we bring that into the enterprise. And so I think there's a lot to be learned and leveraged in the way of how data plays a role in staying relevant and delivering the right message at the right time, at the right place, with the right offer, even just the right information to help the customer on their journey, because this is what B2C companies do every day. I mean, take Amazon. I mean, Amazon is all about the science in the art of marketing, and that's why we love them. They not only give us things at the click of a button, but they recommend other items to us based on knowledge of what other customers or consumers are using, and that's all based on data. And so if we take some of that and apply it to the B2B side, because you can imagine in consumer, it's all about that sense of urgency in order to stay relevant. And the B2B side, we have a little bit longer of a sales and marketing cycle, if you will, for that relevancy. But I think having that sense of urgency, trying new things, not being afraid to fail, is how you leverage B2C. And that's how you get better and better as a marketer and be more relevant to your customers on the enterprise side.
Got it. And so what does it look like, Sally, when you're trying to become a data-driven organization? Are there some good first steps that you would recommend marketers start to take if maybe they're similar to you, maybe they're new into an organization and they want to start becoming data-driven? What would be the first kind of the roadmap to getting onto that path?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, you need to understand who your customers are. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, marketing is the voice of the customer. And so understanding who your customers are and what their journeys look like as they interact with your company and your different products. And then just choose one. I'm a huge fan of test and learn. Choose one customer type or persona, if you will, and one journey and get that right. Create the best customer experience with that one customer and pilot it. And you'll make mistakes along the way, but you're learning so that you can apply that to the rest of your customers and segmentations and products, because no one enterprise company has just one product to sell. So there's a lot to be applied across the rest of the realm of marketing. So I would say, don't boil the ocean, pick one customer segment, one buyer journey, and nail that, and then apply that across the rest of the product offerings or solutions that you have.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Sally. I think it can be so overwhelming to think about, when you think about the power that data can have really with your marketing as a whole. It's easy to just kind of jump to thinking, okay, we have to implement everything at one time, but not boiling the ocean and focusing on one buyer persona makes perfect sense. Sally, this has been really helpful. Is there anything else kind of related to data and how we can really leverage data in the best way possible? Anything else that you'd want to add before I let you go today?
Well, I think at the end of the day, if anybody in marketing needs to remember that we are the voice of the customer and we represent what customers want from our companies, and infuse that into everything that we do, all of us as marketers will be on the right path and can help our customers get through that buyer's journey with a wonderful customer experience. So just keeping our eye on the ball and knowing that we are their voice and we represent them is where I would start.
Sally, if there's somebody that wants to connect with you or they want to learn more about Informatica, what's the best way for them to go about doing that?
They can, my Twitter handle is at Sally Jenkins CMO. If they want to connect with me that way, that would be perfect.
Awesome. And then Informatica.com?
Yes, Informatica.com.
Wonderful. Sally, thank you so much for your time today. This has been fantastic.
Great. Thanks, James.
To ensure that you never miss an episode of the B2B Growth Show, subscribe to the show on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. This guarantees that every episode will get delivered directly to your device.
If you or someone you know would be an incredible guest for the B2B Growth Show, email me at jonathan@sweetfishmedia.com. Let us know. We love connecting with B2B executives, and we love sharing their wisdom and perspective with our audience.
Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.